Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. Today, we're going to be doing a which is better comparison. It's a game of old versus new as we look at Warpath and X-23.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
I always love doing a which is better comparison when there's a new 2-pack of figures to talk about. And I like comparing it a lot when the older 2-pack or the older figures weren't a 2-pack, because it leads to some interesting factors. But as always, the first round on a which is better comparison is about the paint and overall appearance of the figures. So we will start with our older Warpath and X-23. Now, this X-23 came out in 2018, part of the, was it the Sauron Build-A-Figure wave? She is sporting a kind of outdated female buck now, but still not bad. The grays are done up in gray, and the blacks are done up in black. I do like that the belt has black and red on it. That is my preferred X-Men logo. Granted, this is X-Force, but still. The belt also has some nice silver and black on it. Spinning her around, you can see the details on the legs. And moving down to the boots, we do have some nicely painted boots because we do have the silver buckles there. However, at the feet, it's just black, and that's going to impact something that we talk about with the new one in a few moments. As far as the arms go, she does have single-jointed elbows, which we'll talk about more later, but she does have the nicely painted, stripe detail on the arms that, when posed just kind of sitting flat, it does carry over nicely onto her shoulder detail. And otherwise, we have nice skin tone on her. The head it's a bit of a snarling head, but it is more calm than the one we're about to see. There's also a nice touch of gray on the mask there for X-23, so I do like that. I do like the red eyes as well, and I like that the hair is, kind of expressive, blowing in the breeze, as it were. The new X-23, the grays are a little darker in comparison. And also, since I looked at the belt first with the old one, the new one, I believe it's the same belt, just painted differently. It is silver and red on the X logo. Otherwise, the belt is pretty much the same, silver, black, spinning around. It is black all around. The grays, I think that they stretch a little further on the new one than the old one. So like if you look at the gray pattern, see how it goes deeper down the leg, and you can see it is a darker gray, which I don't dislike. I think it looks pretty good. At the arms, again, we do have that stripe pattern moving onto the costume, and you can see that it kind of matches up, even with the arms this is kind of them at rest. So it does match up. The minute you move that arm, that pattern gets broken up. But otherwise, it's fine for what it is. I don't expect these things to move like perfectly. Skin tone looks nice. I feel like it's a less shiny than the old one. Bringing the old one in, that skin tone is a little shiny. So the new one is more flat in color. Oop, just knocked down that other Warpath. That's okay. This head, much more expressive. You can see it is a screaming, angry head. No silver detail on the eye mask in between on the nose piece there, but otherwise it does look really good. The hair still blowing, but not as expressive compared to the old one. Like the old one is very windswept. This is not as much, but the hair honestly looks a little more expressive, I think, which is pretty cool. Love the detail on the mouth as well too. That is a nicely sculpted and painted mouth. I don't see any paint errors on mine. Now, I did mention the boots before, and on my old one, we did have the painted belt buckles. This one does not have the painted belt buckles. You can see on my hand there, with my hand behind it, these are just, here we go. They're back here. Nothing is painted. It's all just black, but she does have molded in toe claws. So X-23 does have those toe claws. The old one doesn't have it. The new one does. So that is pretty cool to me. I think that is... that's a pretty good detail. Also, just to say it, the adamantium claws, her claws, definitely look a little more silver than the old one. The old one, they almost look, almost like, not bone color, but I don't know, lighter when compared to the new one. So old one's here, new one, I don't know. What do you think there? So, I have my thoughts about which X-23 is better, and personally, I think I've got to go with the new one. While I like certain things on the old one, like the X and the painted belt buckles on the boots. I do think the deeper costume detail lines look good. I think her claws look a little better. I like the hair on this one a lot more, and I love that she has the toe claws. So that's the X-23s. Let's take a look at the Warpaths now. This Warpath was actually part of a 2-pack with a Deadpool figure. It was a Toys R Us exclusive all the way back in 2010, if I recall. This is a bit of a larger body, and the silvers on this are very, very silver. It almost, like, you know, if I'm putting these two on a shelf together, she has gray, he's got silver. It definitely looks a little weird. But then, like, you look at the legs, and it doesn't look quite as shiny as the torso, if that makes sense. Like, they're similar shades, but, like, I don't know, the shine on them always looked a little different to me. The overall appearance, too, of his body is a little strange. Because of the way this joint was cut, it makes this part look very flat. Like, you know, like, I don't know, like, almost like it was supposed to be bent all the time or something, but then the hair can't really, with the head, you can't really get the head back. So it kind of looks like he's crouching at all times. Maybe that's just me. He also has some weird joint cuts. Like the ball joints here on the legs look a little weird. The wrist cuts end up looking a little weird depending how you move his wrist. But overall, like, this isn't bad. And again, he's got that silver detail on the nose part of the mask. Something which the other one doesn't have. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But, you know, he looks fine. I have him holding the knives. Not really going to talk about the knives until later on. But, you know, belt buckles painted on the boots. Nice strap on or pouch on the back there to hold the knives. So overall, it looks pretty cool. I like the hair. I think looks pretty neat as well. Little bit of like movement to it, you know, with the way it's like sitting. But overall, you know, it looks good. Our new Warpath. Let's just make sure the old one's going to stand. There we go. Our new Warpath. Hair, a little more windswept. You know, especially over here. Got this piece coming out, which if you wanted to, I'm sure you could just kind of take an X-Acto knife and cut off, or, you know, heat and just kind of leave it, you know, press it against the head. It would probably stay there. But, you know, no silver on the mask. Not that it's the biggest deal to me. More gray than silver, and it matches the X-23 he comes with very nicely. I see, and this is one of the things that I question. The belt here, more pouches than the old one, but black and red. Why couldn't the other X-23 have the black and red belt? And that might be a simple case of I popped the torsos, I swapped their belts at some point. But moving on down, you know, his legs are what you would expect from Marvel Legends now, so they look a little more normal. You know, we have the grays matching perfectly with the other grays on it. The wrists don't look weird because, you know, the movement is here. So, you know, we don't have any weird cuts there. No painted belt buckles on the boots, so we are missing that detail. But the knife holder, his pouch, little larger, little easier, or, you know, little, I don't know, more significant than the other one. But he also has, like, those pouches on his belt that are painted, so I do like that. So if you're going to ask me at the end of the day which Warpath I think is better, I do think I am going to give it to our new one. I think his proportions just look a little better, and certain details I think are a little nicer. So my first round goes to our 2-pack of X-23 and Warpath. I think that is just the better paint and overall appearance for these figures. My second round, as always, is about the articulation of the figures, and we're going to start with the X-23s. So looking at the 2018 X-23 first, head can move left and right. It's on a ball joint, and you do have some back and forward movement. As far as the body, just that torso movement right here. It does allow her to spin, and there is just a little bit of like back and forth. We're not getting a lot, but it is there. Arms will do a full 360. They go out pretty high, like they go out real high. In terms of rotation, nothing at the shoulder, but she does have a single jointed elbow, and that's also where the rotation is. Hands will rotate fully, and then the hands go left and right, you know, in and out rather than up and down. At the legs, we're going to kick forward, a little bit, actually no kickback, for rotation. double jointed knee. There we go. Rotation at the boot. Foot's going to go up and down. And we do have ankle pivot. So pretty much what was standard at the time for a female Marvel Legends figure. She is on like a smaller kind of like teen body. So she, you know, her joints are a little fragile. You do have to be careful with her. Our new one, head is once again on a ball joint. So you do have the left and right. And this one actually moves very easily down. And, you know, you can get back. The hair is definitely going to impact how far back you can go. Waist is on the same joint. So a little bit of back and forth, but more so twist. And also side to side, which I think I forgot to mention on the other. Arms will rotate full 360. Still go up pretty high. Not quite as high as hers. But we do have rotation at the shoulder and double jointed elbow. So, you know, you can get some real deep bends there. Fists will rotate just like the other one and still going in and out like that. Legs kicking forward about as normal as you would expect. No real back on it. Full rotation at the thigh. Double jointed knee. Also pinless, just to say it. And rotation on the boot. Feet go forward and back and side to side. So out of the two X-23s, I think our new one has just enough more, just a little more articulation to make her the winner of this round. But since this is a 2-pack, we do have to talk about the other figures involved. So let's talk about Warpath. Warpath, the old one from 2010, head will rotate. It is on a slider to a disc joint. So, you know, you can get up and down. It's not a ball joint, though. There's just a stick in there. The arms will rotate full 360, and they'll go up just that far. They do have full rotation at the bicep. Single jointed elbow, so just like 90 degrees of bend. And then the wrist just do this turn here at this joint. Nothing else on the wrist. In terms of the body, we do have ab crunch going forward and back. And again, that joint just looks so weird when you bend him. But full rotation, you know, he can spin. Legs on a very outdated style of leg. So in order to have him kick forward, you have to rotate the whole ball joint and have him kick forward. And then you could rotate the leg to make it look more natural. But it is a weird style of ball joint there. So something to be aware of. You do have full leg rotation under that ball joint. Double jointed knee, just like that. And you do have, I'm sorry, there is no boot cut. I thought there was. And little bit of ankle pivot, not a lot. But then you do have full up and down, back and forth at the ankle, I should say. And there is toe articulation. His toes did move. So there we go. Warpath a little limited. Let's look at our new one. So I'm just going to slide him back here. New Warpath. Head is on a dumbbell joint, so it will move all around. You can get some tilt out of it, back and forth, and of course it will rotate because it is a ball joint after all. At the torso, I love this guy's torso because he's got the lower stomach crunch, and then, so you know, and he can go back, but then he's got that inverted ball joint, whatever they call it, so he can really move his chest all around. You know, back and forth, left and right, and he can spin. I love the way his chest is constructed. Just looks phenomenal to me. I'm not sure because I don't have it, but I think this might also be that Walmart Retro Venom like style body. I'm not 100% sure. He has butterfly joints at his arms, so they can move in and out as much as you want. Arms otherwise will spin around and go up just that far. Not very far on the arms. But I think it makes up for it in other places. Full rotation at the bicep. Double jointed arms or elbows. Not pinless though. So you can see the pins hanging out there. At the hands, you're going to get full rotation and then in and out movement. So there is that. He also has another set of hands, which we'll be talking about in a few moments. At the legs, normal. Just kick them right up legs. They get a little bit of back and then out. Not a lot, but it's there. Full rotation at the quad there. Legs are double joint, or legs have double jointed knees, so you can kick them back pretty far. He does have boot rotation. Ankles are going to go back and forth, and he has ankle pivot. So this Warpath has a hell of a lot more articulation than the old one. And even if he's standing straight up, I will admit he is still a little shorter, just a little. But let's not have him fall down. But definitely the winner of the articulation round. So both my new X-23 and new Warpath definitely have the better articulation. So they take round 2. Round 3 is about the accessories of these figures. My old X-23 came with nothing. So with her, what you see is literally what you got. The Warpath came with these 2 knives that he's been holding the entire time in this review. I still have them with the old Hasbro bands on because I don't think they stay in his hands very well otherwise. But yeah, he has these 2 knives. They look really good. They look really nice. You know, they are nicely detailed and painted, in my opinion. Just to say, there is another version of this Warpath in his X-Men colors with red and blue. I also have that one, so he also has the same accessories. Obviously, there's just some difference in the paint. But yeah, this is it in terms of accessories. 2 knives, and X-23 has nothing. So not a lot in ways of accessories. My new 2-pack has a lot. So we will start with X-23. Now, I normally take these characters and talk about them as they appear out of the package. I will say I did actually take the alternate head for X-23 and stick it on for this review because I wanted the X-Force masked head. She does have a second head option, which is just this, an unmasked X-23 head, still gritting her teeth, still looking kind of angry. So if you're looking to have, like, just, you know, a not as screaming angry X-23, you have an option if you want to make a custom, you know, just X-23 not in her X-Force gear. You can do that with this head as well. So I'm just going to slide this over here for a second. X-23 also has some additional hands, and I'll just show them real quick so you can see. There are just 2 non-clawed fists, so if you just want her with regular hands without the claws, you have that option. And there are 2 kind of splayed open hands that you can see here. So again, no claws on this one, just kind of the open hands. You have that option. I feel like with this figure, if you're going to have her without her claws on her hands, there should have been like a feet option, so without the foot talons. You know, it seems almost silly to me that you would give her the option to not have her claws out in her hands, but she's always got the you know, claws out on the feet. I don't know if changeable feet is something we've seen on Marvel Legends before. It's something that I thought about. Honestly, you could kind of probably, if you have an extra one of these, take her apart and swap parts and do whatever you need to. The paint looks like a pretty good paint match, and you could make like just a calm X-23. Anyway, let's talk about Warpath. Our current new Warpath, you know, he comes out of the package like this, but he has a number of accessories, namely 2 hands that are capable of gripping things. And if you're wondering what they're gripping, well, he has the same knives as the other one. The paint's a little duller in these, but yeah, he can grip these. And, you know, just to show you how it goes, he can just slide the handle of the knife into his hand, and now he's holding it, and these stay in nice and tight. Like, that's not going anywhere. You can give that a good shake, and that's going to hang out there. You know, same with the other hand as well. It's almost too tight of a fit. Like, you really kind of got to force that in there, but it is going to stay. It's not going anywhere. And, you know, if you want to swap the hands out, just like you're probably used to at Marvel Legends, pop the hand off, pop the new hand on. So now he's holding a knife, and same thing with the other hand. We're going to pop the hand off, and just be aware this bracer does come off, so don't lose them. And then, you know, pop the other hand in, and boom, we have Warpath holding his knives. I believe these were a gift to him from Storm in the comics, and they're vibranium, if I recall, the knives. So they look really cool. And if you don't want him holding them, you can always pop them out of his hand, like this. And hey, remember that holster I talked about before, the sheath? Boom, right there. Now they're hanging out there. So you have a lot of display options with it. I prefer him holding them, so I'm going to stick this knife back in his hand. But while I'm doing that and while I'm talking, the fact that this Warpath has different hand options and still has the knives kind of puts him a step above the old one. And in terms of X-23, our new one just has so many options compared to the old one who had nothing. So our round three, the accessory round definitely goes to the new 2-pack. Just a lot better options with this. My fourth round is about price and overall availability of these figures. For the old ones, for this Warpath, you are looking at quite a bit of money. You got to remember, this is part of a 2-pack. It came with Deadpool. People like Deadpool. Some people want to have every Deadpool figure. So you're looking anywhere between like $77 to $87 for this Warpath, according to Action Figure 411. Of course, these prices can change the moment I'm done recording this episode. But X-23, you're looking at about $27. The new 2-pack of this Warpath and X-23, $50. Available on Hasbro Pulse. Available on Amazon. Available on Big Bad Toy Store. You know, you combine the price of these two is a lot, and you're going to have to go, you know, third-party seller, eBay, something like that to find it. This right now, at the moment, readily available for a decent price. So as it currently stands, this is definitely the better option. So yeah, the new 2-pack is gonna win round 4. Just easier, just more affordable. Probably the way you're gonna want to go. My fifth and final round is about display compatibility. I really wish I had the new Archangel in hand to show off, but I don't. I do have the old one, but he's kind of in the back of a shelf, so I'm not going to grab him. But I'm going to pull out some other X-Force characters from the era to kind of show how they compare. Now, not all these characters were on the team at the same time. The first kind of Black Ops X-Force squad was X-23, Warpath, Wolverine, Wolfsbane. We've never gotten Wolfsbane in this costume in this era. Vanisher and Elixir, I want to say. They eventually did add characters like Deadpool when it came to Uncanny X-Force. I don't think Warpath was on the team at the time. We did have Nightcrawler eventually. And, of course, Wolverine should be there. So, looking at all of these together, they look pretty good. You know, the grays all kind of match. Warpath, I think, being more silver, doesn't look as good. But everything kind of matches. Swapping them out for the new ones, and we get this. Again, not bad, but the grays don't match as well. You know, Warpath and X-23 match, but we just got this Age of Apocalypse X-Force Nightcrawler. Definitely has lighter gray to his costume than the Warpath and X-23. Again, I don't have that new Archangel in hand. He was also on that first strike team. I may have forgotten to say that. But so I don't know how well those colors are going to go. I will say the old one has more silver on him, very much like that Warpath had, the old Warpath. So, you know, granted, they are cobbling two eras of X-Force together, you know, with what I have in front of me. So I can understand the grays being a little different. But it looks just off enough to kind of bother me. I think Warpath is better looking, but I think the old X-23, I think her costume matches the rest of these guys a little better. So, really thinking about it, let me bring the old ones back in for a moment. We'll put Warpath back here, and we'll put the other X-23 back here as well, or over here as well. You know, these colors match just a little better. I think the new Warpath is going to match your display better. He's a more updated figure, updated for the times. So I think that's definitely the better choice. But just in terms of color and how well it matches, I think the old X-23 actually matches better. So we're going to give, we'll give 2 points this round. 1 to Warpath, the new Warpath, 1 to the old X-23. There we go. So unlike times where an update is a welcome update to some figures, this 2-pack, it's cool to have it. I think the Warpath was definitely in need of an update, but I don't necessarily think the X-23 was. Is it a welcome update? Yeah, I guess. She definitely looks a little more violent than the old one. But this 2-pack, I think, is worth it if you don't have the old ones. If you do when you're not looking to upgrade, I don't think it's a necessary upgrade. Like I said, I think the Warpath is really the only one who really needed to be upgraded, because this is, 15-year-old figure. We've come a long way since then. So I think the new Warpath is definitely a welcome update. But like I said, the X-23, you're looking at a, 7-year-old figure, 7-ish-year-old figure. It's fine for an update. Not much has changed. They gave her double jointed elbows. Everything else kind of still feels the same on this figure. So I don't know how much of an update if it was necessary for an update. But anyway, those are my thoughts on it. At the end of the day, I do think the 2-pack is the better option. But again, really, if you don't have the old one. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you getting the 2-pack? Or did you skip it? Are you trying to find the old ones? I'd love to know what you think you're going to do or what you want to do. Always happy to talk about that stuff with you. And remember, you can check out the Rock Nerd Radio Show podcast. It is a weekly podcast hosted by myself and my good friend Vinny. Together, we discuss all types of pop culture on there. There's bound to be something you're going to enjoy. You can find it on your preferred podcast platform. And, until next time, I've been Dan. That's been X-23 and Warpath. You've all been pretty awesome. I'll see you around.